Hey guys, welcome to Edge Radio TV Network, the Women's Empowerment segment. I'm your host, Nicole Giddens, and today my co-host here, Brooke White, is going to do a little interview with me. It's time to share her story. Today's topic's a little serious. We always try to keep it candid, but we've got a lot to share about what Brooke's gone through, and I really think that she can help a lot of people sharing this story. And I think a lot of women just need to hear the signs of how we can avoid these problems to happen, or if it's happening to them, how they can get out.
Yes.
So the topic of conversation is narcissism and domestic violence and loving yourself. So our icebreaker here, I'm going to do a little quiz with Brooke, and I'm going to ask her, we're going to make sure she loves herself. I think she does.
I do.
Because today, I told her how good she looks. She goes, I know.
I did not. I said thank you.
She goes, I know, right? You do. You look beautiful today. Your makeup is on point.
The only reason why I say that is because I have literally been going nonstop all week, and I didn't look this good at the beginning of the week. So I'm finally calming down, like what Victoria said last week.
Oh,
Slow
yeah.
down.
Yeah, she said you're all over the place.
I handled a lot of those contracts and stuff, and
good.
Yeah.
Well, you're killing it, and I'm so proud of you, and you've come such a long way.
It's been great.
I've been friends with this girl for a really, really long time, and I've been with her through struggles and trials and tribulations, and
Big rock,
we've been on the phone crying with each other many, many evenings, just wondering, where life was going to take us, and we really have evolved as women, and I'm really glad that we've been able to support each other along the way.
I know, me too.
Aw.
I know. I mean,
anyway,
we love each other.
Yeah, I love you too. Okay, first question.
Let's see.
Here we go. How much time do you spend alone? None, a little bit of time, or maybe a few hours during the week?
Oh, I'm alone a lot because I am. I love that.
Okay, so maybe a few hours.
Hours for sure.
Okay, doing your TikToks.
Yeah, always.
Would you ever go out to eat or to the movies by yourself?
I do.
And you guys be asking these questions to yourself too.
I do.
Okay. I've done it multiple times. All right. Do you trust yourself?
Learning too. I used to not. I trust myself a lot more now.
You trust your intuition?
Yeah,
I think
I definitely do trust my intuition a lot more now.
You trust yourself more than anyone, not always, for the most part.
I would trust myself more than anyone.
Okay. Are you always dieting? Yes, I can't seem to find my perfect weight. You are never dieting. She's the bacon double cheeseburger, so I never diet. I can answer that one for you.
Hard no.
She's like, bacon with a side of bacon.
That's
some
it.
French fries.
You put bacon on anything.
It's not good to eat like that, guys.
I don't care.
Are you happy with your body? I love my body. Not at all. Some parts I love, some parts I don't.
Some parts I love, some parts I don't. I think that's just anybody.
Always room for improvement.
Yes.
Do you check in with yourself regularly asking, how am I today? I constantly talk to myself. That's weird. Not as much as I should.
Oh, I talk to myself.
Yeah, I do too.
I do.
Are you aware of your flaws? Yes, I love them all. Too aware, they bother me. I try not to think about them.
No, I'm aware. I've overcame a lot of flaws.
So what do you think about them? Do they bother you? You don't think about them? Or you love them all? You don't care?
I don't care. I love them.
Okay.
You work on it.
Do you listen to your body when it comes to health and nutrition?
Ooh, that's more now than I used to. If I'm about to pass out, I know I need to eat now.
Okay.
That's my toxic trait.
I trust my body. If I did that, I'd be eating chocolate for breakfast.
That
about
one.
50-50.
I eat chocolate for breakfast. I really do.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
I have.
Would you ever get plastic surgery?
It depends on what. I won't do nothing to my face.
You were talking about something.
Oh, I am doing that.
Okay, so you would love to.
Yeah.
She's going to be a little bit shapelier.
A little
Do
bit.
you care about what other people think about you?
No,
Not one bit.
not one bit.
Is staying true to yourself important?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Do you think badly of yourself?
No. I know I've made mistakes. Learned from them. Won't do it again.
Do you say no when you don't want to do something?
Yes. I love the word no.
That is a part of loving yourself,
It is.
though.
It is.
To be able to say the
no.
word no's and just don't be a people pleaser all the time.
I'm not no more.
You have to know your boundaries with people,
You do.
right? Sometimes
People
you
take
just-
advantage of you so quickly.
That's right.
You know?
Are you respectful of who you are?
Yes.
That's kind of a silly question. Do you celebrate other people's success without a problem?
Oh, without a problem. I
That's a
love other
great
people's
feeling.
success.
Have you ever thought of hurting yourself?
No.
Are you afraid to follow your dreams?
Nope.
Do you know your body intimately?
Really, Nicole? I'm going to go with yes. I mean, I'm about to be 35. Duh. Great.
I have relations with myself.
I mean, me, myself, and I. Whatever.
Do you know how to have fun alone?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
That's a great follow-up question to that.
Do you?
Great.
Do you embrace your uniqueness?
Yes.
Okay. Are you afraid to act a little silly once in a while?
Mm-mm.
You act silly all the time.
No.
I can answer that. I could have took this for you. Do you celebrate who you are as a person regularly?
I mean, I don't throw parties for me,
You
but
do.
okay, yes. I throw. If we can have a party, we're having a party and cake.
You're like, guess what?
And
Do you find yourself comparing who you are to others around you?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Do you make choices out of love for yourself?
Yes.
Do you surround yourself with people that are good for you?
Yeah. You're not getting in anymore for no.
Yeah, no energy vampires. That's another show. Are you constantly trying to learn new things?
Always. I want to know everything. And education is power. Knowledge, power.
Do you nurture your relationship with yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you get massages?
Yeah, just not enough.
Do you massage yourself? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Is spending time by yourself scary? I just had to throw that out there because that question was so weird.
We're going to have a show on this one day. Stay tuned.
This is the last question. Is spending time by yourself scary?
No, not at all.
Okay. All right. You love yourself the most. When it comes to loving yourself, you got it down pat. There isn't anything you could do to love yourself more than what you do right now. We bet you're going to be very successful because the way you view who you are, good for you. And, you know, that's all a part of taking care of ourselves, self-love. It's when you're a mom and you're with kids, sometimes we let ourselves go. It's okay to stop for a moment and do something for yourself too.
Yes.
Because it's only going to make you irritated.
Well, you
right?
you have to take time out for just you. The whole alone thing, it is the biggest deal. Like to just be by yourself. It's great.
And be comfortable with being by yourself.
Yes, go out to eat by yourself. Who cares? Nobody cares that you're there by yourself. Like literally.
And when you don't, you attract predators.
Yeah.
And that's what brings us to the narcissistic topic. So there are plenty of people out there that have these traits, and a lot of people don't even realize. A lot of narcissists will tell you straight up, no way that they are. Because
they don't know they are.
They're so great.
Yes.
So they have a very high self-entitlement.
Yes.
They're going to look for women that are vulnerable that they can prey
Manipulate.
on. Yep. They monopolize conversations and belittle to take down people or perceive them as inferior. And when you've dealt with your situations, when they first come to you, how do they come across? They're very what?
Oh, love, 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 love.
You're such a big
I
deal.
am the world.
Put you on a pedestal.
No, it is.
So very charming.
Yes, it's the love bombing. It's I got to get you to be in love with me. Because once you fall for them, it all changes.
And they start devaluing you.
It's a sad situation because you don't want to fall for somebody so soon, but it's like, oh my God, I'm their perfect person. I'm their person. That's what everyone wants, is someone to say, my person found me, I found my person. And then when they just go to the extreme months later and they're not that person that you end up falling in love with, and the mask comes off.
And there's a lot of misconceptions that are involved in the relationship at first, because they have a lot of, they think so much about themselves that they over-exaggerate their achievements and accomplishments. Yeah. So you really think that, oh my gosh, this person's a really big deal. And then as you continue on with them, you find out they got all kinds of stuff that's not going for them, and it wasn't that great in the first place. No. But we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to go into her story and how she overcame attracting these type of people. So you guys stay tuned. We'll see you in a minute.
We work our whole lives to support our families. With one accident or illness, it can all be gone in an instant. Now there's a smart, affordable way to protect your family. Go to findhealthbenefits.com and discover low-cost life insurance for as little as $2 per month. Add to that a tax-deferred annuity that can help you protect your assets and grow your money for retirement. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com. or call 877-235-6094. A critical illness can strike without warning and wipe out your life savings. In fact, it's the #1 reason for bankruptcy. Find Health Benefits offers an affordable solution. Get up to $50,000 if you get cancer, stroke, or a heart attack, giving you the peace of mind to focus on getting better while the plan helps you to pay your bills and medical expenses. Learn more. Go to findhealthbenefits.com or call 877-235-6094. 66% of seniors spend more time shopping for cable TV than Medicare plans. Most say because it's just too confusing. Laws change every year. The wrong plan could cost you thousands and prevent you from seeing the doctors you want. Introducing FindHealthBenefits.com. Save time, save money, see specialists without referrals. Go to FindHealthBenefits.com or call 877-235-6094 for this informative brochure.
Society is on the edge. Let's bring them back. Edge Radio, because truth still matters.
So, welcome back. We were just talking about some more red flags that you will see in a narcissist. And so, the other one we were talking about is they'll tell you that they love you
quick.
Right away.
Right away. If you are told within the first 3 to 6 months that they love you.
3 to 6 months?
3 to 6 months.
Oh, come
Sorry.
on. After 6 months, you can love somebody.
After 6 months. Don't tell me. Anytime before then. Because, seriously, it never fails. The first month, they love you. Like, I'm not the only person this happened to. It can't just be me. But seriously, if someone tells you that they love you so quickly, don't believe them, because it's not true. They love what you're giving them. They love the attention. They love the fun, the new. You're not nagging. You're not bitching. You're brand new. You're beautiful. Like, this goes for men and women. It's new and they love it. Of course you love them.
Yeah, but they also possess an absence of what's it called? Object constancy, where if they don't see you, they forget about what floats their boat with you. And so then they're really easy to stray off and cheat and flirt.
That's true.
And then as the relationship continues on, they'll start flirting with people right in front of you or making comments about other women in front of you, which is not okay.
Never will be.
So let's start with what you want to reveal about your story. So where do you want to begin? Because you've been dealing with narcissistic behavior and abuse.
Yes, I did. I dealt with it. The abuse didn't come until years later, which that is something that was a red flag too, though, because I noticed it. I noticed the anger. I noticed the alcohol. I noticed the meanness as soon as alcohol hit his lips. Like, I noticed all of those very quickly, and I ignored it. I noticed throwing things. I noticed like tearing up furniture very, very quickly. But at that point, well, I say very quickly, probably about a year in, that's when those things started happening. But I'm already in love. So it's like, okay, let's stop. Let's change things.
He already put you up on that pedestal.
Yeah. So let me see if I can fix this. What did I do? I did something. That's why he did that. But that's not the case, because you can't do anything right. That's the problem. Nothing you do will ever be
you're
right.
Crazy, and you're this.
Yes,
and
if you hold them accountable, that's where you're crazy. And that's the part that is unmasked after you fall in love with them, and they're a completely different person. And they're a completely different person to you, away from other people too, away from everyone. A lot of people didn't know anything until I had to ask for help.
And he kept a lot of people away from you too.
Oh, that's another thing. Your whole family will be gone. All your friends will be gone, because you will always have to be with him if you end up leaving him or her, because we got to put women out there, because they're women.
1 out of 4 women get abused. 1 out of 10 men get abused.
And it does happen. But they don't want you around anybody. They isolate you. I mean, even down to their friends' wives. I wasn't supposed to be friends with their wives. But I'm around them all the time. What do you mean I'm not supposed to be friends with their wives?
And so, I was watching the psychology episode talking about things that you can avoid doing so that you don't fall into abusive relationships. And one of the things had said is, don't get into a relationship right off another relationship. True. And you had come from such a broken relationship previously before.
Yes, and
so he put you on this
and he
pedestal,
knew it though, and so
he was a predator that
and he took the vulnerability, and it was a horrible time, honest to God, before him. And so I used that against me, and I let him, because everything was good. It was a too good to be true type thing in the beginning, and then it's too late for me, eventually. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to wrap my head around all of it right now. I think that the main thing that if I could give anybody advice is, don't ignore anything they show you. Don't ignore the disrespect. Don't ignore the meanness. Words are something that you won't ever forget. And the meanness that they're saying, whether they're sober or drunk, they mean those things. And drunkenness is never a good thing either. It gets worse.
Yes.
The alcohol doesn't help any type of abusive situation.
Well, you even had a gun held on you.
Yeah. I had a loaded gun put to my head. It's like a flash. I've had my house broken into. I've been held down, being choked, and 2 of his friends had to pull him off of me and choke him out to get him off of me. It's been a lot. There's way more than all of those things, but at the breaking point, everyone asks why you stay, why you don't leave. I did. I broke up with him 4 times and took him back. Months would go by, I forget all those things, and then you're like, oh my God, maybe it was me. Maybe he's changed, all those things. Those things don't change. They're never going to change. The honeymoon phase is always going to be good in the beginning. So if you break up with somebody and you get back together with them, there's that honeymoon phase again. So it's all good again. I'm perfect. I'm changed. I'm over it. I'm never going to do those things to you again. And the last time, I was never going through that again. I was never going to feel as if I did something wrong, because I didn't. I never did. I didn't start the fights. I didn't hit him first. I didn't. And a lot of women don't.
But they'll try to make you think that you
Every
caused it.
single fight ended up being my fault.
There's never a reason for a man to put his hands on a
Never.
woman. Ever.
No. I've always been taught, don't put yourself in a man's position. So I know not to do something like that. And if I did, I knew there's a possibility that you're going to be hit back. So don't. Now, I'm not perfect. His abuse did make me react. A reactive abuse to narcissism is a real thing. And that is where you consider yourself the crazy one, because you're reacting to their abuse, because you're a type of person that you're like, oh my God, no, you didn't just say that to me. I'm going to come back with something just as mean and cut you down. And then you start thinking that you're the abuser, but you're not. So it's a whole cluster of emotions that keeps you with the person. And love is one of the big things too, because you do love this person. They're just not the ones that really love you, if that makes sense.
You can't love yourself when you behave that way to somebody like that.
No, normal humans don't destroy other humans.
So what they were saying is this causes cognitive dissonance for the person that's, going through all these situations, and they just get confused. They don't know, what came first, the chicken or the egg. They thought maybe they instigated the problem because they're such strong manipulators. Don't let anybody manipulate you into thinking that you were so crazy that you deserved to have harm done on you. And emotional abuse is just as bad as physical abuse.
It is.
The brain will relieve the same chemicals as if you're getting rejected, as if you're getting physically beaten. So your body is going through major trauma. Don't just sit around and let someone make you feel bad about yourself. Know that you're worth more than that. And whatever you got to do to get away from it, if it's to be around your friends, if it's to go to church more, if it's to find a group to belong to, whatever you got to do to get out of it, to stay busy, to find yourself, that's the first start, and growing and succeeding and getting things done and being productive is the best way to climb yourself out of those situations. And try to find someone that you can confide in. I was looking at the statistics for COVID for domestic violence.
Yeah, they're up.
And it said that 50% less calls came into these hotlines because they couldn't get out. They were trapped. They couldn't escape away from these people.
So
and
sad.
that's so scary.
And it
Our
is.
country has got to get better.
No. And that's one of the hardest things. I mean, because I used to say the same thing, why don't I just leave? Well, a lot of people, it's financial stability. I mean, a lot of people, they can't financially leave. And it took me a couple of years to, well, I would say at least a year and a half to financially be stable enough to be like, I'm done and I'm out. And I was. And I don't think that people should be looked down on because they stay, because you have no clue why they're staying. A lot of times they're threatened, or they think they're going to be hurt more, or, it's not as easy as just leaving sometimes.
And I know your faith in God really helped you along the way through all your struggles. And
that was my main reason to leave. That God and my faith is why I left, because I ultimately was with a non-Christian. Okay, and you cannot really intermingle those things. You just can't.
Equally yoked.
And I thought that because I am a Christian and we're supposed to sow the seed and all that, I thought that I was supposed to be someone for him, to help him to become a Christian. Well, nothing that I did worked. And God literally spoke to me and said, you are not the person to do this for this person. You got to get out. And that is literally why I left. Or we weren't living together at this time, so this is why I kicked him out of my life. So that is my reason to leave. And if you don't have a faith, get one. And God will help you, because I didn't have anybody else to turn to, because I had exhausted all of the, oh my God, he did this. Oh my God, he did this. Oh my God. No one, not no one. You were a big part. Tracy's a big part. But it's God did it. God told me what to do. And
God speaks through people.
And this was a 5.5 year. This is.
It's a long time that you went through this.
Yeah. And it took a long time to be done, like legitly done.
Yeah.
And don't think that they don't come back. They always come back.
Oh yeah. Well, because he's gotten away with it so many times.
Exactly.
Before.
And even since this, he's tried, and I have no contact, and I won't. And I hope he watches this. Just saying. Peace. No more, because it's not happening. And most women need to have you just gotta do it. I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, I am so proud of you. You've come
Thank
such
you.
a long way. You're a very successful businesswoman, and you have climbed yourself out of so many different struggles.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Thank you.
I've seen such a stronger person in you, and you're so happy all the time, and just keep it going, girl.
I love it.
And I love, like, the last relationship that you were just in.
I was not.
How long this lasted. So
First
this
off,
is how you
I
know
was
you
not in a
heal.
relationship. I was not in a relationship.
the dating
but let me tell you
thing.
something. I wasn't in a relationship. But let me tell you, if the next person after your narcissistic abuser says anything remotely to the same as that person or acts like
Run.
them, you better run, because word for word, not once, not twice, but 3 different occasions, this person said the exact same thing as my ex. And I was like, oh.
You got to go.
No, bye-bye.
I love you right away.
I love you right
You're
away.
Such a big deal.
You're my person. This is it. We're going to be together
He even
forever.
talked
I'm
about
like,
marriage, didn't he?
yes, I got to. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I can't.
And y'all were maybe a month, like we're dating?
It wasn't. Yeah. Mm-mm.
And
So-
then the marriage came up like a week into it.
Don't get me started.
I was
just
like,
can't.
Brooke,
I
don't
just
accept
can't.
the bouquet of flowers. I'll just hand you a red bouquet of red flags, man. Put
Amen.
that in the vase on your
Amen.
table.
Amen. I just can't anymore. So I'm okay with not being with anybody, because it's like all the red flags just come my way. No. And it is true, though, because that's a narcissistic person. They think that they can, I don't know, get control over someone. It's all about the control. It's all about you falling in love with them, really, and then they don't really love you. That's all it is. And there was no control going to be happening with this one. So, bye-bye. You just have to open your eyes after you've been through a lot of the heartache, because it is all heartache in the end. And you have to notice that it's not a fairy tale. No one loves you in a month. You don't love anyone until you've gone through real hell together. So you can't literally love someone so soon. And those you can't do it.
And
Right.
there's so many great people out there. I have a very happy marriage.
Yes.
And we've been through a lot, and that's sometimes what it takes, staying together no matter what.
Yeah.
And not abusing
But
each
not
other.
abuse. Now,
Yeah.
that was one of the things I was always like, stay together, make it work. Not if there's abuse. Never. And there's nobody that's going to tell you to stay if there's abuse. No one.
So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have Dawn Candy, and we're going to talk a little bit more about domestic violence. She's a survivor herself, so you guys stay tuned.
The Natural Nation Network is really about taking control of your health physically, spiritually, emotionally, even intellectually, because there's so much out there in misinformation. There's a lot of people now that are suffering from all sorts of diseases that they really wouldn't have to suffer for if they had better information. And that's what we're here to do. Provide information that can save lives.
The mind and the body are totally connected.
Health can be really serious, and sometimes we just have to lighten it up a little bit while we're still providing substantive information.
And my sort of mantra on the salsa dance floor is kind of similar. I tell somebody, if you make a mistake twice, it becomes a move. Okay,
Tune into Natural Nation every Tuesday at 11 a.m.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
I'm trying not to lose my head.
Hey, this is the Talk About Unity show where I bring the talk,
And I bring the unity,
and together we talk about unity.
unity.
Unity is what matters.
Come
And
on.
right now in our country, that's what we've got to do. So we do that here at Talk About Unity on the Edge Radio Network. Be with us every week.
It's going to be awesome. It always is. And I tell you what, the more we seek first to understand, then be understood, we make progress.
And we like to do that. And that's why everybody's on the brink. We love what we do at Edge Radio because everybody's on the edge. We bring them back from the edge and we bring the unity. So we're just glad to Edge Radio Network every Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Talk about unity because here at Edge Radio Network, truth still matters.
Welcome back to Edge Radio TV Network. I'm your host, Nicole Giddens. I have my co-host here, Brooke White.
Hello again.
She was just able to share her story, her survivor story, and we thank you for all your vulnerability, and I'm sure you helped somebody today.
Well, I hope. That's all I care about.
Yep.
Honestly.
So we have our guest here, Dawn Candy. How are you doing today, Dawn?
I'm good.
Thank you so much.
I'm a little nervous.
Oh, it's okay.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
I started in that seat.
Yeah. It's just a conversation. Yeah. We're just going to have a conversation, and you're a survivor of domestic violence, correct?
I am, and actually I promoted this segment this morning in a networking event, and someone I've known for a really long time said, as long as I've known you, I did not know that. So this is the first time that I'm actually sharing the majority of my story.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And you're such a classy lady, and you have such a great aura about you, and you would never think if you saw you on the street that you had gone through any type of abuse or would have put up with that type of behavior. As a matter of fact, that was a problem in the formula because of your status and your job and everything. You felt like you needed to hide it so much that you couldn't go get help.
When it was going on, I had a very public job in the Woodlands area, and I was ashamed that it was happening to me. I was embarrassed that it was happening to me, and so I would cover up the bruises. I would miss work because of injury. And so a lot of people did not know because I tried to conceal it as much as I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always
will. How did it all begin? Start from the beginning.
So with the most severe abuse, I was married to this gentleman that it took a very long time. Although you talked a lot about the red flags, and so I have to say they are there from the very beginning.
Yep.
And oftentimes we ignore them. Or in my case, I think I thought I could fix him. Okay.
You thought you were his person.
I thought I saw, what he could be. And so I stayed with him through a lot of red flags, through us having children together. We were a blended family, so yours, mine, and ours. And just gradually through the years, things got worse. Alcohol played a part. Mental health played a part for him. He was bipolar. So whenever they get on medication, they're great. But when they decide they're great, they stop taking medication. That's a whole nother story. Yes. But the alcohol also does not play a good part when someone has that kind of issue. And so there was a lot of verbal abuse, the emotional abuse, a lot of strain with our children because it was that blended family. And so it was a gradual event that took place. And the screaming and hollering, the throwing things, it got to a point when it got physical with me, was about 6 months before I actually left.
Okay.
And it was because immediately I went away with a girlfriend for the weekend trying to figure out what am I going to do. I've got these children, we have this house in the Woodlands, I've got this job, how am I going to manage this? And so I decided I'm going to make this work. I have a commitment in this marriage. So I went back and I did the best that I could, and I probably would have stayed longer, but he pulled a gun on my daughter who was 16 at the time. And we wrestled for that gun.
Yeah.
And I'm
Thank
so
God
fortunate.
It did not go off.
Yes, I am very fortunate. My mother was actually on the phone with my daughter
it's
at
your
the
daughter,
time.
Right?
My daughter.
That's
yes.
not right.
So my mom overheard all of this, the scuffle, the screaming, the everything, and I was yelling for the other children in the house to call 911, go get someone as I'm fighting for this gun. It was at that point that I decided I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be a statistic. I don't want my family to be a statistic and be on the 10 o'clock news.
Yeah.
That's really where I felt like it was going. And so we got out. The next day, I gathered things for my daughter, my son, and myself, and left while he was at work. We got away.
Yeah.
Did not tell him where we were for a good 30 days. I was trying to keep it a secret. We bounced from a friend to a corporate housing apartment that I had a friend who did corporate housing, and she set us up there.
That's awesome.
Because it was a financial thing too. I didn't
Yes.
have the money. I wasn't, making this great amount of money. I just had a very public job.
Right.
And so I maintained working while I was leaving. So I was always afraid he was going to show up at work.
Same.
Afraid for the kids. It happened during the summertime, so they did not go to school, which was a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? They were safe.
Yeah.
I knew where they were.
That's true.
But the hardest part was trying to, again, keep it a secret, help my kids heal, find a place to live. I went to the women's shelter and talked to a counselor, and she told me, she said, well, most women who are in abusive relationships go back 7 times.
See?
7 times. And I said, no, ma'am, that will not happen to me. I will not do that. And I didn't go back to that abusive spouse. We did divorce, but I kept picking the same type of men.
But I want to stop you on the picking word. They picked you.
Well, yes and no.
Yeah?
Yes and no. I mean, I'm going to take responsibility to say that I entered the relationship.
True.
And
consensual at
yes.
first.
Oh, well,
and
yeah,
then you're like,
yes. When it becomes abusive, then yes, you realize and you get away.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But this morning I mentioned in my last event for the physical part of the violence was in 2005, not that long ago. And it was severe to the point of being hospitalized for a concussion. This whole side of my face, basically, and my head was, they called it macerated from the beating.
Wow.
So that gentleman left the state. Nothing ever happened to him.
All right.
When I actually decided to pick myself up was 3 years later, after more bad choices of men. And my best friend kept asking me, why do bad things keep happening to you? And my question to myself was, I'm the common denominator. What am I doing?
You're accepting this behavior.
That's right.
You
That's
treat
right.
people
I
how
allowed it. I allowed it to happen to me.
You teach people how to treat you.
Yes.
Yep. That's true.
Yes. So in 2008, everything shifted. My mindset shifted. I understood that I did play a part. Not that that it was okay for them to hit me at all.
Yeah, no.
But I had a part in it, in allowing it. And so why? Why was I doing that? You go to therapy, and therapy, the therapist will tell you, well, did you have any daddy issues? Well,
No.
okay. I did. I grew up without my father. Often wondered why he never called. What's wrong with me? Doesn't he love me? So you could consider that a daddy issue. I'm happy to say that my dad and I had a great relationship when he passed away. We reconnected and things were wonderful. And so he did get to see me healthy, by the way.
Nice.
But, you just realize that you are worth so much more.
Yeah.
And life really can be happy. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out to somebody. And that was one thing. You don't have anything to be embarrassed about.
No.
Because you're not causing this. Like you said,
It's not.
It's not your behavior that's doing it.
No.
It's something in them.
It is.
And it is all
it's
about.
because they hate themselves.
They're not happy within. It's just
no.
it's sad and true, and
Yes.
that's the reality of it.
Yes. And we just get caught up in it because we ignore those red flags, and because we think we can fix them, or
we're the good
we don't want to
ones.
believe it.
We want to help too. Like,
That's
I'm a
right.
fixer. I am a fixer, and I not anymore. I used to be.
Yes.
We think we can help.
Yes, and that's exactly how I felt too. I thought, yeah, I can fix him. I can make him better. I can do this. And then realizing, let me just shift that. Let me fix me. Let me fix me. Friends used to tease and say my picker was broken. Well, okay,
That's
I
what they
fixed
say to
that.
me.
That's right.
Yeah.
You have to love yourself first. So number one thing is love yourself first, and then everything else will fall into place. You'll notice the red flags. You'll notice a weird behavior. And listen to your intuition on things. I watched my dad beat my mother for, until they got a divorce, and then begged her to divorce him, and they were married for 23 years.
Oh, wow.
And so when I got into relationships with men, I had that conception that, you're supposed to fight. Not that I thought it was okay when I was going through it as a child, but that was just the environment that I lived in. It was a combative environment.
That was your normal.
Like you're supposed to yell and scream
and fight back and all this.
And it was not fun to deal with. And if you're in an abusive relationship and you do have children around, don't be so selfish and think that it's just happening to you. Even if the kids are not getting harmed, it's happening to them too. Get out.
They're seeing it and they're thinking that this is okay.
And it causes PTSD for children.
And it does.
It does.
They were my number one thing, God and because we didn't share children and we had a blended, but we didn't have our own.
Yeah.
You're not gonna corrupt my kids. Yeah. Like you're not gonna. I didn't grow up. My parents were still married. I didn't see my parents fight until I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
Literally, swear to God, never. So I didn't. I don't know how I ended up with that. But my kids are not gonna. You know what I mean? I don't think that's fair for them. They don't ask for it.
You got involved so early in your life with relationships. You were young when you had your first child. He was an addict. Then you had the next one, which had his own abuse.
Situation,
and then you went from that.
And they were all narcissists. Yeah. Honestly, one of them
you kept just getting more broken.
Like one of them psychotic too. But no, seriously, broken people are always attracted to people that have a glow around them too.
Yes, and you have to heal.
There's that.
Yeah,
you have to allow yourself to heal.
You do.
You can't jump into. That's another thing. You can't. That doesn't fix nothing. Jumping. Into another relationship.
Right. You have to be okay being by yourself, enjoying your own company, understanding, if you need to have a pity party today, it's okay. Just don't stay there.
No.
Right?
Right. It's okay to not feel okay.
It's okay.
I had a day yesterday where I was just like, ew.
Yeah.
Oh, the day before, don't get me started on the day before. Oh my God. I was sitting in my
always
car.
Be frolicking through the fields. But with that, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about an event that you're going to have for some sex trafficking that I want our audience to know about. And we're going to break a little bit more on what you can do to avoid this type of behavior happening to you. So stay tuned.
Are you a small business owner concerned about the downturn in the economy? Top business leaders like Mattress Mac and Warren Buffett will tell you that now is the time to promote your business more than ever. People need your services. Your business needs an edge. Learn about special advertising packages for small businesses right here on Edge Radio. Find out more, give us a call at 281-744-0446. That's 281-744-0446. Edge, because truth still matters.
Welcome back to Edge Radio TV Network. We're here with Dawn Candy, and we were just talking about domestic violence and narcissistic behavior. And she is going to be having an event that's a little bit of a side note for some sex trafficking, but I wanted you to give the audience some cues or some advice on what they can do to avoid welcoming that into their life. Like if you could tell somebody 5 things that they could do, what would it be?
5 things.
Okay.
Gosh.
10.
I was going to say, you're really putting me on the spot here. So
we won't count.
First of all, let me just say that sex trafficking is prevalent in our community.
It is.
I know you've been hearing a lot about it probably for the past 2 to 4 years, and you're probably really hearing a lot more recently. It is because we need to protect our children.
Yep.
The biggest way they are getting, I know you probably have this thought in your mind that sex trafficking, they come and kidnap the person off the street, throw them in a van and take them off. And you think it only happens in a third world country. It's happening here. It's not happening by the way of the van. It's happening by the way of social media. If you have young teens, young kids in your household, and they are connected to social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all of them, they are being preyed upon. They are chatting with people that they don't really know who they're talking to. They are being vulnerable to them. And I share this with you because I last year got custody of my 3 grandchildren, my oldest being 17. Her biggest thing was she wanted a cell phone. And I was adamantly against it. She ended up getting one for her birthday last April. And by June, she was being what they call groomed through social media. Someone had befriended her. Someone had started to alienate her from her family, her friends, started telling her how cruel we were because we wouldn't let her have her cell phone overnight in her bedroom, that we didn't have her best interest at heart, that we didn't love her, and started pulling her away emotionally from us. By August, she ran away from home. By September, we have no idea where she is. We do know she's being trafficked. Right now, today, on this Friday afternoon, we know she is being sex trafficked in the city of Houston. But I don't know where she is. And so I'm encouraging everyone to please pay attention, know what your kids are doing, your grandkids, because it is so vitally important to educate people, our law enforcement, our lawmakers. This is a crime that's happening. And the way that you can tell if a girl or a boy, it happens to boys too, oftentimes you will see them being disconnected. They don't make eye contact with people. They seem very withdrawn when they're in public.
They're timid.
That's correct.
They're scared.
They may even be looking over their shoulder to see who is watching them at the time. They may change the way they dress. If they have not been pulled away from your home yet, it could be a brand new circle of friends. So please watch all of those things, all of those. And when I shared this with a group of women that I knew, they said, oh, she's just being a teenager.
No.
Just her defiant attitude is just being a teenager. She's 16. She's this, she's that. It wasn't. That's not what it was. And I had a gut feeling. So the event that you mentioned is being put on for Hands of Justice. They are a nonprofit organization that is survivor-led. And it's on March the 5th. It's called Art Reach for Freedom. The theme is I Have a Name, and they will be featuring survivors and showing their faces and their names and letting people know there is a face that goes with this. It is not just something. There are people, there are families probably in your community right now that are being impacted by this. So it means so much. We're looking for sponsorships and ticket sales.
Yeah.
It's a Friday night from 6 to 9 at Woods Edge Church. We would love for you to get involved if you can. Becca Carey, who is the founder, has been helping my family immensely with resources to help us try to find our granddaughter. But the biggest thing is her being a survivor herself, she said, you can't save them. They have to be ready to be pulled out. Once they get in so deep, they have to be willing to accept the help. And for me, that's heartbreaking because I desperately am trying to find her with law enforcement every day. I'm talking to someone every day and showing pictures.
Makes me
You know, and our
So
kids
sad.
really don't deserve privacy. My
They
kids
don't.
get mad at me,
My
but
kids do
I
too.
snoop through their phones
Yep.
and then I wait a while so they
Yeah.
don't know when I'm going to do it again. So I can, if they're going to slip, I'll catch them slipping. And I don't care if they get aggravated with me or not. And sometimes if I don't find anything, they don't have to know that I snoop through their phones. There's also stuff that you can download on your cell phone that you can block apps that your kids cannot get on these specific apps if you're worried about some activity on there. But
I think it's Family
get
360.
nosy, be involved,
Yes,
ask some
that's the thing,
questions.
be involved.
My kids tell me some of the stuff sometimes, and I'm like,
I know.
did you really have to tell me that? Did you really have to say that out loud? But it's not, and it's not something that they're basically doing, but just other kids at school, or just something that most kids don't share with their parents. And I'm glad we have that dialogue, and I really think that we need more of that. This whole privacy thing and
They don't need
everything else.
privacy.
No, and don't feel like you have to keep up with the Joneses
You
just
don't.
because Sally has all this stuff. If you're feeling, you know, your intuition is telling you that it's not good for your child, if your
Don't
child
do
is
it.
easy manipulated,
Right.
you know, don't
well,
do
and,
it.
and like you said, know their friends, because they're being recruited by people in the schools, by kids in the schools, because they're involved already. And so their trafficker is telling them, introduce us to someone else, bring someone else to this party. If they start going to parties late at night, if you've taken their phone away and they come home with another phone, that's a red flag for you.
Wow.
Somebody is trying to stay in touch.
Yes.
That happened with my
Did it?
granddaughter as well. She showed up with
Another phone.
an iPhone. I'm sorry.
What?
Where did you get this? A friend gave it to her, and I'm thinking,
Nobody
don't
gives out
think so.
iPhones?
Correct. You know, red flags. So just be alert, be aware, make sure you meet their friends, make sure you meet the parents and understand. I will tell you that we had a speaker at our WISE conference last year whose daughter was being trafficked. She was recruited by another family in the Woodlands area. The mom was involved.
Oh, and that happens more than people realize.
Yes,
Moms,
the mom
women are
was
involved just as much.
So please make sure you are kind of vetting the family that you're allowing your kids to go spend time with.
Well, I want to touch base on that too, because I have younger children, and even these apps with like Roblox and Minecraft and stuff like that, I have to go through those.
Yep.
Because those are
the ones that they're
that's where they
hitting up.
start. I mean, that's where they start, and so you have to start so young and tell your kids these things, because they're growing up in a whole different world than we grew up
That's
in.
right.
I mean, stranger danger was a real thing in my day. So
yes,
you know.
Yeah.
We have ran out of time.
Are we out?
A week or
God,
two.
that went
I know
fast.
this goes by so fast every
Wow.
time. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Let our
thank
audience
you.
know how they can get in touch with you for this event.
So actually, if you'll look me up on Facebook, Dawn Candy, also look up Hands of Justice. We have the flyer there for that as well. But I'm a business owner in the Woodlands. My email address is dawn@ipromoteyou.biz. You can call me on my cell, 713-992-1995. I would love to chat with you and just help spread the word and educate people.
Tell somebody, y'all.
And
Thank
with
you.
that, we are out. Thank you, ladies, so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
your stories with me today and everyone else. And you guys stay tuned next week. We'll see you then.
See ya.